Now, let me start with you. We've come to the conclusion where now we have the special prosecutor in line with all this. In your own estimation, there have been concerns, if there are not, about his involvement in the government at the time when this deal for the purchase of these 3 aircraft were brokered. What should we be having him recuse himself, or it doesn't matter because it's an institution?
Well, I have not seen a copy of the legal opinion that Martin Amidu is said to have written when he was in the Attorney General's office and Ministry of Justice at the time that this transaction was done. But I guess that he himself can, you know, as it were, if he is inclined to think that the legal opinion that he wrote impacts the nature of the transaction, he may be minded to recuse himself. Or if persons who feel strongly that Mr. Amidu would be compromised, if you like, or would be influenced in his conclusions because he was Attorney General at the time of the transaction, can raise it and then we'll debate it. But you see, significantly, yes, some of the clear procedure that took place here, legal opinion, PPA approval, Ministry of Finance approval, executive approval, all taking place in one day, raises issues about how the transaction itself was concluded in Ghana. But the allegations that are contained in the judgment, it's not on the processes in Ghana. No. It is an allegation to the effect that a particular individual government official, one, his brother, was used as a conduit for messages to him for purposes of they facilitating the acquisition of this aircraft, based on which Airbus paid bribes. Simple. So why legal opinion on a contract would include the bribery that Airbus had admitted to having paid?
So in effect, you're saying that it was just a matter of procedure.
Ah, which one? The Martin Amidu rule. So that's what I'm asking. So let's tease out the issues and relate it appropriately with the real issue involved, which has international, what do you call it, disgrace proportions on this country. That elected government official accused, or is it even an allegation on the part of Airbus? Because this was a crime that they cooperated with the prosecution for purposes of reaching the settlement, provided them with all the information, all the facts, emails, dates, times, individuals involved.
I see. They saw their complicity, their fault, and so they had to come clean.
Look, we are at fault. Going through a trial will lead to much more severe sanctions, and so let us admit, cooperate with the investigated, provide them with all the information, and then admit our guilt, and then be sanctioned with 3 billion. Even that is the biggest fine in the history of this world. Corporate fine. And they say we should sweep this under the carpet. Ghana mentioned in there that elected government official, that they paid bribes. Have you read the judgment?
I have.
You have read it?
I've read the SFO report.
It's unbelievable that people will tell us
in the District of Columbia
that, oh, Ghana did not incur any cost, so leave it. Why? Ghana, seriously? This is a serious matter which has brought the image of this country into disrepute. I'm all for the special prosecutor getting to the bottom of it. Yesterday, indeed, your sister station, JoyNews or Joy SMS, did some investigation and put it out in the public domain that they have almost positively identified who intermediary 5 is. And the good people of this country should draw their own conclusions. We won't politicize it by all means, but we cannot be also mute, because our commentary, based on our English comprehension of the judgments that we read, clearly does not in any way undermine the ability of the special prosecutor to get to the bottom of who government official 1 is. So it's important that we speak to some of these issues.
Now, it has emerged that the special purpose vehicle that was used in this whole transaction, the company, D-Dome Limited,
yes,
as incorporated, has 3 directors.
Yes.
Nana Kweku Donko as the company secretary, Philip Sean
Middlemiss. Yeah,
Middlemiss as director, and the next director is Samuel Adam Mahama. And
then in the English version of that same company, it's Adam Samuel Foster. Same date of birth.
Now, D-Dome Limited was incorporated on the 8th of May 2012, and it was dissolved on the 29th of June 2019, with its registered address being Bentley's Chartered Accountants, Level 8, ALG Building, 41 Shortland Street, Auckland, New Zealand. Now, you know, when these things happen, we have media who...
Where are you reading this from?
The SMS, JoyNews also has comprehensive information on some of these related, because these are public information you can access. You know, the United Kingdom and elsewhere in Europe, they have the freedom of information, for which if you need a lot more information, you can access them as quickly as possible.
Roland.
Now, if people have to make these inferences and they put pen to paper and decide to put A to B, B to C, do you think that it leads to speculation or poignantly leads to a certain direction?
Roland, I sit here, I have relatives, I have brothers, right? I'm a member of parliament. My brother is contracted, you know, I am not by this admitting that it is certainly the president's brother, right? We all wait for the outcome of the investigation. Okay? My brother is contracted by a company that wants to do business with an entity which I preside over. And he goes ahead to have the business. Is that my problem? Is that my problem?
Well,
so are we saying that, listen, are we saying that,
so far as you're a key decision maker,
yes, so
in basic guidelines and rules of conflict of interest situation and ethics.
Thank you very much. Have you read, you know, the managers of the recent 3 billion loan that we went for? The recent one, yeah. Have you read the managers? Have you taken time to look at the managers? Have you taken
the transactional institutions
and whatever?
Okay.
Have you looked at those?
No, I have not.
I see. And that's just to tell you that data bank is one of the principal actors insofar as the management of that thing is concerned. And who is data bank?
Are you also speculating?
I'm not speculating. I am telling you that data bank is synonymous to Oforiatta, Ken Oforiatta, our you know, what do you call it, the finance minister. You understand? Ghana government did not contract any third party insofar as this transaction is concerned. Now, this business, you know, to contract, to acquire this Airbus thing started in 2008 by President Kufuor. They had come, you know, Airbus had come into contact with Ghana government long before. You see, we shouldn't create the impression as if somebody sat somewhere and decided to just, you know, go purchase aircraft for the armed forces. It didn't happen in the vacuum. The process was started way back 2008 before President Kufuor left. Because
have you read the judgment and the
yes,
report?
yes, yes.
Have you read the
He's
judgment?
rewriting
Why?
his own.
I am telling
he's
you,
writing his own
please,
judgment.
please. I just want to, look, this whole thing started way back, right? Then
You mean the intent to acquire aircraft?
acquire, yes. And you see, and then
But not from Airbus?
from Airbus,
No.
please.
If
From
you read the
Airbus.
reports,
Oh, please.
Airbus made a pitching. So you come and do a pitching, and the potential client would decide whether I want to buy it from Airbus or
Yes,
Boeing
let me
or
finish.
wherever.
Let me finish with what I'm.
Yes,
you see,
please
and then,
go ahead.
And then the decision.
I have 2 more minutes.
You see, even the decision to opt for either Airbus or whatever doesn't lie in, the president. If Ghana wants to buy an aircraft,
Let me ask
the
you.
process.
The NDC
Yes.
convened a press conference. It was addressed by the communication officer of the party,
Yeah.
legal practitioner Samuel Jemfi.
Yeah.
And he said he can't see, or perhaps he doesn't see the reason why people should be interested, or government should be interested in who government official one is in the scheme of things, etc.
Because when you look at the judgment was not emphatic. Look.
And it's at that event that he said that government did not lose money.
You see, the judgment was so clear on, when you, that
the
was
American,
Singapore.
the
and whatever,
American judgment was straightforward.
Listen, one, in the case of is it Singapore or whatever, they said they were paid to directors, straight. You understand? In our case, no government official was mentioned that monies were paid to. No government official. No government official. And in any case, what were they after? What were they after? The fact is that they felt that Airbus paid a commission that was
Don't you think that we should be interested in knowing who government official one is and the intermediary?
No, but I see the point is that knowing government official one is not a big deal. We can find out, and that's the reason why the president had asked that special prosecutor to go ahead and deal with it. And afterwards, what else? We need to establish that official one took some money. If you identify the person, right, and there is no link, there's nothing to show that he took bribe. What is the use?
So that's your
You understand? What is the use?
I get the points now, because I wasn't getting the argument and the conclusions that you were drawing.
Interesting.
We have to, and unfortunately, I can't give you.
No, it's not a problem. We'll have more time to discuss this matter.
So
but if you
can wrap up in 30 seconds.
He started.
If the NDC say
He started.
that the charge that Airbus was charged with, that is to say, failure of a commercial entity from preventing bribery.
By who?
Why? Have you read the
by who?
judgment?
Bribery by
A member of
That
parliament
was
for
paid
second
to
D
induce
is
with
Andrew.
intent to procure contracting.
Ejapamesa.
We leave it for you.
Lower Manya Krobo is Ebenezer Oklete Telabi.
Look, we need
Deputy
clean
Minister.
water. We need clean water.
Of course. And we need
Water
men
is life.
with
So your argument is
integrity
that there are
to
more
manage
pressing
this
issues
country.
pressing issues.
Yes.
than Airbus scandal.
Yes.
Including men
He
with
also says
integrity.
Airbus scandal
We need
is
clean
more
water.
important.
We need men
We're
with
taking a break.
integrity.
When we come back,
whose
we'll tell you all you
integrity
need to know about
is not
the decision
doubt
taken
to
by
manage affairs
the
of this
Ejusiman Senior High School management in relation to 7 girls. 7 girls, they recorded a video, it's gone viral, and it looks like the management of the school decided to pull the girls out of the boarding school to go and stay in town. Now, that has raised questions also on the part of child rights advocates, but would want to comprehensively look at all these going forward. Stay with us.